Hello, my name's Paul Strummer, and what I'm going to do today is give you a brief review of the Gear4Music Deluxe Sapeli guitar. It's an Electro Acoustic guitar. I've had one of these now for nearly 2 years, but what I'm reviewing at the moment is a new one which I got recently. So what I'll be reviewing is the guitar as it comes with the factory settings. I've not changed anything on this, so basically this is what you get when you first get the guitar. I won't go over the descriptions because you can read the descriptions on the website, apart from saying it's a Sapeli, that's a type of wood. I'd say that I think it's a laminate all over, but for £85 you probably wouldn't expect much more than that, but I think it's a really good value guitar for that amount of money, and I've been using it quite seriously in the last 2 years, going out gigging at open mics 2 or 3 times every fortnight, and also at the end of 2011 I used this guitar to record an album of 12 songs, and that was all recorded at home in this room, actually, where I'm standing. Here's the album, Paul Strummer. It's got 12 songs on it. They're all recorded solo acoustically, and all with the help of this guitar, and that was one of the reasons why I got this guitar in the first place. To give you an idea of one of the reasons why I got it and what the differences are with this guitar compared to others, it's really down to the pickup and the amp, the preamp that's used in the guitar. This is a Belcat Prener amp, but what you may notice is that there's a blend switch at the end, at the top, which means that it's got 2 pickups within this guitar. And to demonstrate this further, the actual pickup system is the preamp there, there's a Piezo under saddle pickup, and it's all connected to the power supply here, and the output that uses one of those square batteries like this. It's got 2 types of outputs, but I'll usually use that one at the open mics. But to give you a better view of this, I've actually got this system here, which is exactly the same pickup. So if you imagine that goes there, that goes there, under saddle Piezo pickup goes under the saddle there. But the main difference between this and most guitars within this price range and going up a bit on the market is this chap here, which is a gooseneck condenser mic, and that means that you can blend the sound from the Piezo and also the mic. And the good thing about this is that it's great for doing home recordings, because you get a much more natural sound. It's not so good for, in fact it's totally useless for live, because if you're playing this in an amped gig, you'll just get loads of feedback on this, so you do resort back to the Piezo within the blend function for live situations. But for home recording, this is the one to use, and I can demonstrate that as part of this review. So to give you an idea of the sound, I mean, just go strum some chords. you're hearing this through the camera's recording. I'll demonstrate some other ways of hearing this guitar a bit later. In terms of the playability, I mean it's quite nice. The actual action, you know, I've seen worse and I've seen better, but you can always adjust the action if you know what you're doing. With there's a truss rod in here if you've got an Allen key. What I normally do now is if I was going to play this seriously, I'll probably take the bridge down a bit and use the Allen key to adjust the action. But yeah, first things first, what I'll do is I'm going to hook this up to the PC so that you can hear the sound that's coming directly from the amp. And the way that I'm going to do that is with one of these devices, which is a Behringer, don't know if I pronounced that right, UC6102 guitar USB interface, which means that you get the 1/4" jack from your guitar, put it in there, and then this is a USB line that goes into your PC, and then you can use something like Audacity to record. So I'll set this up to start with. Won't take long. What I'll do is when I'm editing this video, I'll play some excerpts from this so you can get an idea of what the final recording sounded like using that. Back in a moment.
Can see the wood for the trees and the rocks. I bet that you ain't never gonna see. I was going round in circles, waiting for the sign. My gift to you. Have a happy, happy birthday. Devil comes knocking. Don't you? You're going on a guilt trip, even though you don't wanna go. This ain't paradise. This tore, I felt unsure. Time marches forward. A long chord, soul chord song.
Okay, apologies for that. Okay, the reason I went upstairs is that the PC's upstairs, I'm recording downstairs. So what I normally do is that the Behringer link, I use a long 1/4" lead to go up to the Behringer link, and then add another long USB lead for the link to the PC. But it means that you don't have the sound of the PC when you're doing recording normally as well. So in some ways I think it's quite a good idea to have it quite a distance away. I think it's starting to rain now, so you might be able to hear rain. But anyway, what I'll be doing is using the sound from here in the video for the next few minutes anyway. So just to give you an idea, what I'm setting at the moment is I've got the Piezo on full. So this is like a normal guitar with a Piezo pickup. Give you an idea. And that's a Piezo sound, and you'll probably notice that it's not very nice. That's what you get normally with guitars. I mean, in a live situation, that sound coming from here goes through a mixer out through the speakers, and usually it's the mixer that tries to make that sound a lot better using things like reverb and equalizer settings. But yeah, definitely sounds a bit electric, sounds a bit plinky, sounds a bit what they call quack, Piezo quack, and not too nice, and you wouldn't really want to use that for recording, especially for an acoustic guitar, because it doesn't sound like a natural sound. So now what I'll do is I'll move the blend all the way over to the mic, but also move it up a bit so that we get a bit of Piezo in there. and do the same thing, so see what the difference is, or hear what the difference is. Hopefully you should notice that difference, and it's that difference that really makes this quite good for doing home recording on a budget. And it was exactly that setup that I used at the end of 2011 to do my album of 12 songs. I won't go through what I then used to master the sound and make it a bit more stereo. I'll save that for another day. What I'm thinking of doing is actually putting that as a private video on my Facebook page. So that will be exclusive content just for the Facebook page. So if you make sure you like that page, then you'll be able to get access to that, hopefully in the next few weeks. So plugged it in. You don't want that sound. That demonstrates the idea that these condenser mics, internal mics, brilliant for recording, totally useless for live events, because with the amped sound, you get feedback from the amp sound going back into the mic. So whenever you're gigging, turn it off completely, so you're just resorting back to the Piezo. I'll turn away from the camera because sometimes when you hear the amp sound on these review videos, you can still hear the guitar playing. Obviously if I'm playing, you'll be getting some of that sound. So what I'll try and do is I'll turn it away a bit, so at least you're getting less sound. But you're getting an idea of the full sound with the previous footage anyway. Okay. So amp sound. This should be the raw footage. But obviously you try and do things to improve that sound. So with a mixer, you might put on reverb and the like. So still not ideal. Obviously the open mics I go to, the sound system's a lot better than this. But just to demonstrate really. I don't use a pick, but I'll just demonstrate what it sounds like with a pick. Usually a lot louder, so I'll switch this down a bit. Right. As you can see, I can't use a pick. And the other thing to say really is, I mean, I made use of the guitar in pretty much this setup. Obviously changed the strings soon after I got it. I've got some extra light Elixir strings. Changed the setup a bit with sanding down the saddle and changing the truss rod to get the action a bit lower. But obviously don't do that until you've worked out, look at some videos on how to do that before you have a go at doing that yourself, or possibly take it to someone who knows what they're doing. But after a while the more I listened to what I was doing live, I still got this impression that some of the notes, like the trebly strings, they weren't coming through too well on the amp. I still wasn't really happy with the sound, and that in some cases that is just a feature of the Piezo. It's better at picking up the lower sounds rather than the higher sounds. But the way I solved that problem, obviously with this amp, you can get this from Gear4Music for 25 quid, which is the one with the mic in it. But Belcat Prener also do another dual blend amp, which has the Piezo as one of the pickups and a magnetic coil as the other pickup, and that's what I went for. And the good thing about that amp is that it's the same price, same size, so you can unscrew this and you have to get your hand in the guitar, but it's quite an easy way of swapping around things. And I'll show that on my other guitar. Okay, so this is my 2-year-old guitar. This is one I've been gigging with sort of 2 or 3 times every fortnight, just mainly open mics in the pubs. But just to show that it's held up, no major problems, which is a good sign. And I've not really used that fancy a bag. The bag that I use is quite flimsy, so it doesn't really give it that much protection. But it's still been good. I've actually upgraded my bag since then. Okay, I'll switch this on. And thing to demonstrate here is that's the magnetic coil. So we've got a dual pickup system now, Piezo magnetic, and you've got the blend function again in the Prener amp, just as before. I'll tune this. I don't think I've demonstrated the tuning yet, have I? With both of these amps, you've got an LCD display which does the tuning. A needs going up a bit. This has come from a cold room, so that demonstrates the tuner that's on the guitar. And hopefully you might be able to notice the difference between that and the previous one. And the thing where I've kind of noticed the difference more is on the higher notes. So if I'm doing finger picking, the high note usually comes through a bit better, and that's one of the features of the magnetic coil, that it does pick up the high notes a bit better, and it sort of compensates for the lacking in the Piezo. Okay, that's enough of the amp. And I'll just finish off. I mean, really, I don't really do these review videos, as you can tell, but what I am thinking of doing is, because I've used this guitar, well not this one in particular, but the same model of this guitar to do my album, what I'm going to do is create another video that shows how I actually did the recording. Not just this, but the vocals, all done within this room on a very low budget, using a PC to record. Recording guitar and vocals at the same time, but as separate tracks. and the editing that was used, the editing software, the free software, Audacity, how that was used to do the mastering, and the extra sound engineering that's required to get it to a state that's ready to ship. And yeah, this was the final thing, my album, 12 tracks. I'll take this along to my open mic nights sometimes. You can also get it on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, that kind of thing. Just do a search for Paul Strummer. But this other video that I'm going to create, what I'll do is I'm going to make that a private video on my Facebook page. So if you go along to the Facebook page, you should see the link down there. If you like that, you will then get some exclusive content, and I'll put that up in the next few weeks. And I'll just finish off, I mean, that's the end of the review, but if anyone still wants to hear what this sounds like, obviously, I'll just do some of my songs from the album. Okay, so yeah, 12 songs. I'll try and do bits of all of them. Get my cape over some of it. The other thing I was going to say in the review, yeah, you don't get the strap, but the strap, you do get the bit where you put the strap on there, but not here. So use a lace or something. I prefer it this way anyway. Okay, number one, twist. What's special with you?
Can't see over the trees and the rocks. I can't see what we have about and that.
Number two, I'm just whispering the songs here. I can't really play guitar unless I know what I'm singing as well. Twist of Fortune. Twist of Fortune, Out of the Maze. That's number three, Waiting for the Sign. Waiting for the sign, hidden in your eyes, too much you light. Waiting for the Sign, my gift to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Devil Comes a Knocking. Devil comes a knocking, don't you go back into the door. Guilt Trip. Guilt Trip. Summer Rain. This ain't paradise, you see what I mean, you see my eyes. submarine. This tour. This tour. I'm never sure what we're doing. Why it's on for? How come we go? Rest of your life. And finally, one chord song for beginners. You might think that anything else would lead you to shortchange. I just think that less is more, and that's why I always want a long chord song. Make a long chord song. So that's the first album, and obviously I've been using this guitar for writing songs from the second album as well. Songs like The Moon is Awfully Bright. We're walking home every night like many times before. I'm holding tight the hand of the love. Theory of Everything. I'm the sky that goes the big man creation. So why would I have to think why is it that you can't see what I still misunderstanding? Talent shows. Yeah, so that's really it. If you do a search on Google or YouTube, you'll probably find a lot of videos of me using this guitar. I've not got any plans to change using this guitar in the near future because I like it very much. Thanks for looking at this review. Thanks for listening.